Welcome everyone to the first ever episode of Unrooted Men's Soccer Edition, and my guest for the first ever show is none other than the new head coach of Menlo College Men's Soccer, Keith Lambert. Keith, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
You're very welcome. Let's begin with a few questions about you to get to know you a little bit better. You spent 2 seasons at CSU San Bernardino before transferring to Humboldt State, and you also spent 1 season with the Lancaster Rattlers of the Premier Development League. What was that experience like for you?
College soccer was an amazing experience for me, helped shape me to the person I am today, which I'm pretty happy with. Both institutions that I went to were great and kind of met at different points in my life. Same route home. I went there with a lot of my high school friends. I realized I needed a different, so I needed to get as far home as possible while still staying in the C system. And then landed at Humboldt State, which, in my opinion, is the CSU system. There are a lot of great things going on up there. It's a unique, but I definitely think in those formative years of 20 to 20 or 23 that I was there, it was a really fun time. The Rattlers was a hometown PDL team that I had some loose connections with the owner and the coach and some of the players, and I was still toying around with the idea of potentially trying to continue my playing career, so I decided to give that a shot. And it was the playing experience was good, the team were good, the travel was fun, but I just realized that my time had come and gone as a player, and the college career was good to me, and that 1 season of PDL was fun, but it was time to move on. So a lot of fun, but a good close to my playing career.
And when you graduated from Humboldt, you had a bachelor's degree in political science and a minor in economics. So I got to ask, would there be any chance of a teaching career if coaching doesn't work out? Which obviously it has so far, but, down the road.
Yeah, down the road. Never want to close any doors. Well, I think a lot that, teaching and coaching are pretty much the same thing. It's just your classrooms are a little bit different. Your students are a little bit different, although they're the same because we work with student athletes. So I would definitely be open to teaching. I actually did a short 6-month stint as a substitute algebra teacher, which I'm terrible at math, but thanks to the help of YouTube and my former math teachers, I was able to get through that semester. That was before I started my coaching career. That was kind of in between college and the coaching career starting. So I had a lot of fun. So you never know. I would probably prefer to teach in a college setting, and definitely would love to teach politics or econ, because I think those are really fascinating subjects.
I mean, at least there was a little bit of algebra and economics, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was some correlation between those two things, but it was definitely a fun experience. I should say that it was at my high school alma mater. I did that typical, what am I doing with my life? Moved home with my parents for 6 months. High school principal called me, so happy to say that I moved out right after that and moved on with my life.
Wasn't going to last too long, that's for sure.
No.
Now, one thing Menlo soccer fans know Keith Lambert already is that you can be a very vocal presence from the sideline, and now you're coaching the men's team. Is there another level that we haven't yet seen as far as how intense you can get?
I think I try and give them needs. When I was with the women for those 4 years, I was trying to give the girls what they need, or communicate, raise the level, or settle the situation. I think the same will happen with the men. The men's game, if you look at it statistically, there's more fouls, there's cards, it's a bit more heated. Both the men and women, go out there and battle, for 90 minutes plus. So it may get a little bit the same. It's just game, depends on the team and what we need.
Yeah, I'm normally sitting on the side. I get a very personal sound of it, and even though I have a headset on game while I'm doing the broadcast, I can still hear you loud and clear. So
Nice.
I'm expecting just a little bit more this time around.
Okay, we'll see.
Questions about the team now. So the 2016 Menlo Oaks won the Golden State Athletic Conference Championship, the first in school history. 12 Oaks graduated from last year's team, so there's a lot of turnover. How does that shape up this year's squad?
This year's squad is a new team. Coach Bukhari and the 2016 squad had an amazing run and made school history and helped shape the culture of the program to where it is now. And I see it as my job to kind of continue it, but I'll continue it with a new group. So of that class, that championship team that returns, we're returning 17 of those guys, and 17 contributed on the field, contributed in terms of like the locker room culture, all those things that made that team great. And 13 new players. Some of them are junior college transfers, and then 6 are incoming freshmen that reign mostly California. We've got one guy coming out from New Jersey. So it'll be a new team for sure. As it looks now, we'll return starters to the fields. So we'll have 8 new starters that hit field. A lot of those starters are in and taking the role of graduating seniors from last year, and they got some really good experience during last year's run, and they've got that bug, that winning bug, which is a great thing to have. So it's a team that's experienced winning at a high level. So I'm hoping, although they're new to a starting role, that'll roll over into some wins right away.
So with 8 new starters in the starting lineup, what's going to be the plan to manufacture some offense? Because the past couple of seasons, the Oaks have been very well-rounded, solid goalkeeping, and a dynamite offense. How are you going to score goals this year?
I think my hope is that we score goals during the run of play. So through passing combinations and getting to the end line and shooting, as well as being organized and disciplined set pieces. So a couple of attacking players that are seeing their senior season. Michael Arenze, Ike as he's called on the field. He's in his senior season, and his playing form is really good right now. Efrain Bonilla, who was a transfer last year and the GSAC Newcomer of the Year, he'll probably advance a little bit higher up the field for us and give us something a little bit more different and dynamic. And then we've got some good JC transfers that scored a lot of goals in their JC career, as well as some guys that like to attack out of the back. As it stands now, the goalkeeper position is still up in the air because we've got 3 phenomenal new goalkeepers, or 2 new, and then 1 returning. Juan Mendoza is returning, played with Coach McDowell for those 2 years. So he knows what it's like to be a high-level goalkeeper. And then the 2 new guys that we have are, one's coming from a junior college that made it deep into the playoffs, and the other one's coming from a very good club academy system. So I think we'll still be solid in the goalkeeper position, and we're returning 2 of the 3 returners that we're returning on their backs, and they're lights out. They're 2 of the best in the conference.
Staying momentarily on the goalies, you know as well as anybody what it's like to have a standout goalie. The past couple has had Kalen Swart on the women's side, and Alex McDowell was tremendous the past 2 for the men's team. How pivotal is it to get solid goalkeeping out of whoever's in the net this season?
It's huge. I mean, to me, I wasn't a goalkeeper, but respect the job that they do. I firmly believe it's the most important position on the field. A good goalkeeper can help you win games that you shouldn't win. And a bad goalkeeper will lose you that you should win. So they know that. They know what the expectation is. All 3 of them fully accept that, they've got a big shoes to fill, and they know how important the position is. So I think we'll push it there. We're returning Matt, our staff, who with the goalkeepers for the past years with Coach Bukari, and he's phenomenal. He'll take on a lot of duties and responsibilities with the field players and kind of seeing the field. He knows the level really well, but he's, hands one of the best goalkeeper coaches at this level, in my opinion. And so he's going to get those guys up to speed quickly. And I feel really fortunate that he's, could stay on staff with me.
Now, the GSAC is always loaded with talent. So what's it going to take for this year's version of the Oaks to make a run at a repeat championship?
A good question. All the basic stuff, it's going to be, tight defending, good game management, executing opportunities in net. But I think, one thing I've been really focused on in the off season and the preseason is just like be a good character team. If you are doing the right things day in and day out, on the field and off the field, carry your body, a good person, maybe those are because culture of, hey, about the guy on the bench or on the field, I'm going to leave it all for me. I really feel like we've got that. to contenders. The tough part is with the college season ramp up so quick in a fall sport is how quickly can, 13 new guys acclimate to the 17 that are still there and, adjust to a new lineup and a new system and stuff like that.
And the non-conference schedule for you guys this year is very difficult in the early going. You have 2 ranked teams and 1 team that's receiving votes. That makes up a portion of the schedule. And the Oaks begin the season ranked number 22 in the nation. How important will these games be going forward for gearing up towards conference play?
I think they're super important. 2 parts. One, it prepares us for what we'll see week in and week out once we start conference play is that high level. There's no easy games in the GSAC. And 2, when we play good outside conference opponents and get results and battle hard, it shows that, the GSAC through and through is strong. It's really challenging to maintain a ranking and maintain a high level of prestige within the GSAC because we just beat each other up a lot. So when we go out and we play tough teams and do well against them, as does the Masters, as does Vanguard, as does Westmont, and all the guys, Hope and San Diego Christian and William Jessup, when we play and get good results, it shows that, hey, these guys are the real deal. And so we're excited. Those games were picked up strategically to test us, as well as, let the country know that the Oaks and the entire GSAC conference is, we're not a one-hit wonder. We're here to stay.
All right, Keith, let's transition to the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answer.
All right.
Question number 1. Who would win in a debate? Keith Lambert, Melissa Michelson, or Craig Medlin?
Oh, man. What are we debating?
Some form of political science or economics or marketing or I don't know, something that you guys would all know something about.
Yeah. I would say I would lose that debate. I want to say who's going to win between Medlin and Michelson because they're both really smart. Man, they've got great reputations amongst the Menlo community and the students. Because I'm out of that game right now. I'm not as closely tied to politics and econ. I would say I can hold my own and add to it, but I would not win.
And Professor Michelson is a political science professor at Menlo, and Craig Medlin has been there, it seems like forever now on the economics side. And
Yep.
Keith Lambert, you have not been coaching or you have not been teaching for a while, just that
Yep.
one algebra stint. So
Yeah.
I think you'd just be looking to contribute a little bit, but you'll probably take a back seat maybe.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot. Know your role within the group. I know my role. I'm not going to
Don't try to show them up. Don't do it.
No.
Question number 2. On a scale of 1 to Keith Lambert, where do I fit in when roaming the sidelines during a Menlo Ultimate game?
Oh, man. I feel like you've got an intense scour and the game face on. Sometimes when you're wearing the hat and the glasses, I'm like, this guy's here to play and coach and get his team the result. So I think you rank up there with Keith Lambert for sure. We gotta work on your coaching voice a little bit, but you're up there.
I know who to talk to though, because you got a pretty good one when you're out there yelling. So I know who to talk to for sure.
Yep.
Question number 3, last one. What player on your team could win a hot dog eating contest?
Ooh, buns or no buns?
We're gonna go buns.
We're gonna go buns. Well, we've got a lot of international guys, and the international guys, I just don't feel like the hot dogs, that's an American culture thing. Although, some of the Germans with their schnitzels and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with an American, and I'm going to go with probably one of the younger guys that can put down a lot of food. I haven't seen them in the cafeteria going all out, but I feel like this is just a bit of a guess. But Alex Avila, just something about me says like, hey, this guy. Here's why. One, I think he's got a good appetite. He's got good size to him, but he's probably one of the most competitive guys on the team. So if you tell him like, hey, there's a winner and a loser, he might eat until he gets sick just so he can win. So I'm going to go with Alex Avila. We'll see when he sees this interview. We'll see if he agrees or disagrees. But
oh yeah, hey, we'll have to get him on the show and see if he can confirm that or not.
yeah, maybe we set up a little hot dog eating contest amongst the group.
That's a good idea. Just make sure it's not in season. I don't want to be responsible for anything that happens during the season.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want that either. I don't think our sports performance team would be happy if we had.
No, something tells me Vic would be coming over to my cube and he'd be giving me a bad time. So
yeah, certainly.
We'll save that one for maybe December or something like that.
I like it.
Keith, thanks so much for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was great to be here.
Fans, just so you know, the soccer season has arrived, and the first official contest for Menlo College men's soccer will be Friday the 25th. Menlo hosting Southern Oregon University. It's a 4 o'clock local start time. And then the following Monday on the 28th, they will be traveling up to Merced to take on the University of California at Merced, a start time at 3 o'clock. The game on Friday will be streamed live on the Menlo College Sports Network. We thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of Unrooted Men's Soccer Edition. Tune in next week to see who Keith Lambert picks as the first student athlete to be interviewed by me, Brian Brownfield, on the show. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. That
went pretty good.
That was easy, painless.
Yeah. The two questions I ask everybody here at the end. One, who are you going to pick for next week?
Okay.
So who are you going to pick?
What do you want? Young guy, old guy?
Anyone you want to pick. Whoever you think would make a good interview.
Ooh. Let's go with Ike.
Ike, okay.
He's a 4-year guy. He's seen the program grow. He's growing. I think he would make for a quality interview.
All right. Is he someone that would respond to an email if I sent it to
him? Yes.
Okay, cool. Because that's the way I contact these guys, so I need to make sure that he'll actually respond. If he doesn't, I'll reach out to you.
Yeah.
And then the second question, I open up the show.